Hey, what it do? Is Chef Joy here with some kitchen talk, and today on Kitchen Talk, I'm making some apple chutney. This is a dish my dad showed me how to make. I don't know, years ago, back when I was a little legit. I've been making this for years. Um, this variation of apple chutney is pretty simple, easy to make. I'm gonna go ahead and weigh everything out, show you how to do it, demo and everything. Go ahead and check my website later for the actual recipe. I'm making a sweet version. You could also like do a savory version. You'll pretty much follow the same process. You'll probably just do something a little bit different in the beginning. Maybe like just saute the apples and maybe throw some garlic and ginger and maybe some shallots or onions in there, and maybe some other herbs, some spice, whatever type of flavor profile you're going for. Even throw some mint in there. Maybe if you're making it for like a lamb, or like I say, if you're doing it for a savory dish, you'll treat it a little bit differently than what we're about to do today. But you'll still, be able to follow like this similar process to, get that savory result. You'll just add in other ingredients to switch up the flavor a little bit. So before we get started, I got these Granny Smith apples. I got the medium small size. I got about 8 of these. So first, you want to take the sticker off because these aren't edible stickers. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead and rinse these off, and I'm also gonna weigh it because I want to make sure I have a kind of accurate recipe for when I post it later online. This is something I usually eyeball, and when I make it, and I have to write a recipe now, so I want to make sure it's somewhat right, so that other people can replicate it, especially if they're not good with eyeballing and just being able to recreate a recipe without the proper measurements because they're not quite there yet. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. So I'm gonna go ahead and weigh this before I cut it and everything, so I can see what my starting weight is and see what's up after I cut it when I have some left over. So right now we starting with like I'd say about 2¼ pounds. I'll just say 2 pounds to be on the safe side. All right. And we just gonna dice up the apples. Try and cut as much off the core as you can. And you just want a nice bite-sized dice. That's good. Do whatever you feel comfortable doing. Remember when you cut and keep the bear in the cave, so you keep all your skin and fingernails on your fingers. All right, I got everything chopped. Now I'm gonna go ahead and weigh everything out again, see where I'm at. I mean, you don't, when you're doing this, you don't have to weigh it. I'm just doing this so, you know, I can write this recipe later and I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's still about 2 pounds, whatever. So I got my pot over here on the burner, getting hot. You could do this like one or two ways. You could do it the easy way, just throw the apples in there, throw some water to cover, throw bay leaf and cinnamon and sugar, and then just let it come up to a boil and then let it simmer. But I'm gonna do a little extra step. I'm gonna go ahead and saute the cinnamon and the apples in a little bit of oil, because when you allow your cinnamon to toast, you know, you extract some of the oils and allow the flavor to come out a little bit more and add a little bit more flavor to it. I've never done this before with this recipe, but I have, you know, toasted herbs and stuff like that before I've cooked stuff. So I'm just gonna use some of my experience, some of my professional experience to just add on to, you know, childhood recipe. It's a simple recipe. Yeah, so I'm gonna just go ahead and get into it and show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna use coconut oil, and for this you only need like a very small amount of oil, because it's just enough to, you know, not even cover, just enough to, I don't know, just to toast it. You don't need a lot of oil. And you don't need a big cinnamon stick neither, because we're only using like 2 pounds of apples, and cinnamon is pretty overpowering. And a little FYI for anybody who's allergic to cinnamon, or, you know, not a big cinnamon fan, I would suggest using like allspice. Allspice has a nice flavor. It's kind of similar to cinnamon, so it give you a similar flavor, but not that quite cinnamon taste. So yeah, if you have smell-o-vision, you'll be able to like smell the cinnamon, which is dope. I love cinnamon. As it starts to toast up, you'll see it starts to open a little bit. So as it starts to open, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and throw my apples in there. And like I say, if you were making a savory one, this would most likely be the time when you add your other, you know, ingredients like your garlic or ginger, you know, chilies, anything else you wanted to, you know, put in there to make it savory. Let it go for like, just stir it around for like a minute or two. I'm not really trying to brown it, because like I said, I'm just making like a sweet one. So it don't really have to like be toasted or browned that long. I'm gonna go ahead and add the water in it now. So I added about 7 cups. No, I'm probably just gonna do the whole 8. Yeah, so I added about 8 cups. So I would say it's about a 1-to-2 ratio. I'm gonna go ahead and add my bay leaf. 2 nice sized bay leaves. And I'm gonna start off with about a 1/4 cup of sugar. You can use any sugar you want. I'm using brown sugar. I like brown sugar. It reminds me of my favorite type of women. So you stir that around, and we're gonna bring this to a boil. I say we start off with, a 1/4 cup, because like I said, I always used to kind of like eyeball this. And then we're gonna bring this up to like a little boil, and then cut it down to a simmer. Also too, when we cut it down to a simmer, we're gonna check the flavor, see if it's sweet enough for us, if we need to add more sweetness to it, if we need to add more sugar or not. And then, this is a pretty, like I said, a fairly simple dish. Just let it ride out and cook down. So you kind of just wanted to double the water like what you do with rice. Enough so it covers. Because a lot of this is going to get absorbed into the apples. Then you're going to have like a little syrup, juice type thing on the bottom. Well, you'll see. Go ahead and put the lid on there. Let it come to a boil. So now we bubbling and steaming. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat down so we get to that simmer. And remember, now we need to taste it to see if we need more sugar or not. So as you see, it's boiling, so be super careful. And remember, use a different spoon. I personally didn't find it sweet enough. I'm gonna go ahead and add another 1/4 cup. So I would say about 1/2 cup, which is my original thought, but I wanted to try the 1/4 cup and see if that would do. It wasn't enough, in my opinion. Just so you know too, you don't want it super sweet, because remember, it's going to be boiling. And it's going to boil for a while. I don't remember exactly how long it takes, but I will come back and check in like 20 minutes. So I say this is like at least a half hour, 45-minute slow simmer cook. So yeah, it's going to, plus the apples already itself are a little sweet. And once it cooked a little bit longer, I'm pretty sure some of the sugars will come out. Plus, I got sugar that I added in there. Basically, man, try not to put too much. Just stick with the 1/2 cup and see where we at. I got a pretty good sweet tooth, so if I think it's sweet with a 1/2 cup of sugar, I think a lot of people would too. So let's stick with this and see what's up. So like I said, I'm gonna check this in 20-25 minutes and we'll see where we at. Okay, I'm gonna check on it finally. Well, actually I checked on it before, like at my 20-minute mark, but this is way after 20 minutes because I haven't made this in a while and I was totally off on my timing and with my amount of water. So I'm gonna adjust that in the recipe. I should have put like a whole another half cup less of water, and I did add a whole nother half cup of sugar. So you know, when you check the recipe out, I have those adjustments. So yes, once you have your water going and it's boiling and simmering, you know, you let that go for about a good hour and a half, almost 2 hours. You know, you let it simmer down, cook all the way down. Uh, like this is a pretty good consistency. Or you can cook it down if you want to reduce the liquid a little bit more. You know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off now. Then leave the lid on it, let it like seep and cool for like another 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna jar that up. I'll show you when I put them in a jar, and then we'll pretty much be done. I'll just have to like let it cool. You get, well, yeah, I'll talk about the cooling process, you know, when I actually put them in a jar as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the stove, and yeah, like I say, just let this sit for a good 10-15 minutes. Then I'm gonna jar it up and then store it. Alright, time to store it. Got these mason jars. Oh. So this is the final product. I got, you know, 2 bottles, damn near full. I think those quart bottles too. I may actually even turn one into just straight applesauce because I do love applesauce. And if you've been paying attention, you know, to my videos, I'm a huge fan of smoothies, so that's what a lot of the other one will be used for. And you know, you can use it for you know, just a regular snack as is, or add it to food if you want to, or dessert or whatever. I'm gonna let it sit out for a minute, and then I'm gonna put it in the fridge to cool down even more. That is not the proper way to cool stuff down, because it could kind of mess up your fridge. But I don't really have much stuff in there, so it shouldn't be that big of a problem. The proper way to cool it would be to make what is known as the ice bath. Like fill the sink up or a little container that I could put both bottles into, you know, like a ice block, or you know, some ice cubes and stuff, you know, to, you know, bring it down to temp within a decent amount of time, because remember, fat time, you don't want to keep it in the danger zone for too long. So I'll have to, you know, bring down the temp. Or another thing too we also use in the kitchen is called ice wand. It's basically a long ice stick basically, and you just put that in sauce or soup or something like that, and you know, use that, stir it around a little bit to help it cool down. And then also too, you have some places that have blast chillers. Those are like super freezers almost. You know, you put your product in there, and a few minutes it'll be cool, or depending on how big it is, how much you have, you know, maybe an hour, but it does cool down your product a whole lot faster than it would normally. So yeah, like I say, I'm probably gonna leave this out not that long, maybe no, like I say, I don't know, probably not even 10 minutes. I'm just gonna clean up, and then I'm gonna put them in the fridge. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, I made some apple chutney, throw it in the blender later on, and I got applesauce. So that's a good product, 2-in-1. It's just me consuming it, so these 2 quarts gonna last me, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, it's a decent amount, 2 quarts, you know. Like I say, you could add other items in it to make it savory, or you can even add other items that you may find enjoyable to this sweet one. You know, I'm down to hear what else you could may want to add. Maybe some juniper berries would be pretty good too. That's another nice little spice to add into it. But yeah, you know, go ahead and try it out. See what you come up with. See if you just want to replicate this one. Yeah, hopefully this helps, and yeah, holler at me later. Bye.